Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to what is today going to be a battle guide for AQW or Azalith Morningstar, whichever way round you prefer to call this one right here. So let us dive straight in because it's a little bit like Ultra Dage with regards to the heals. So Azalith is a heal inverter, so you don't want to be using your heals or heals over time. If you're getting suddenly wiped with loads of damage, that is the reason why. However, you can use a heal when the text "I will burn this realm to the ground" appears, and you can also use a second heal when the text "your healing is no longer inverted" appears. So they're the two things you really need to be looking out for if you're the Lord of Order, Archpaladin, Lightcaster, those types of classes. So for our class setup, we're going to be doing a Chrono Shadowslayer, or you can have a second healer. There will also be a healer class, but you're not using your skill 3. There'll be Lightcaster, Lord of Order, Archpaladin, Stonecrusher, do not use skill 4, and then Verus, Doomknight. Our fastest run was between 2 minutes 50 and 3 minutes. Inevitably, there are quicker ways and other compositions. To be honest, there's loads of different ways out there. It's kind of just a core setup with this boss, and then you can expand it however you want. So feel free to play around the classes, but this is just a nice stable way to go through and get it beat without having to worry about things like mana vamp, health vamp, etc. For those of you wondering, I was running Praxis at the time as my forge weapon. Anyway, so let us talk about these heals. I will burn this realm to the ground. The Q text has appeared, our health's gone down to 1. At that point, you can use one of your healing skills. So, like I say, for me, that is skill 4. You'll notice it then says Azalith inverts your healing, so you don't want to do any heals past that point there. However, once the next Q text appears of your healing is no longer inverted, you'll notice you've been nuked again because your health is down at like 13,000 for example. Use another heal at that point, and that is how you want to go through rinsing and repeating this fight. There is no reason whatsoever to heal without the Q text. If you heal without the Q text, you will just get nuked, a load of damage, and you'll be wiping. Also, the Q text always appears in the same order. It doesn't chop and change, so you should get used to it after a couple of rotations. Let's just talk about the next round of heals in the background live time. So I'm hovering over skill 4, ready to hit it. As soon as we see I'll burn this realm to the ground, so everyone is healed. Then a few seconds after, we can see your healing is no longer inverted, so everyone has hit their heals again, and that's just the way you want to keep on going through this process, and you should be absolutely fine. Like I said, that was the random classes that was used on that particular run. However, this is the main comp that we spoke of at the beginning, so we'll just leave the entire battle up in the background, and you can now see why you want a healer within there. You don't really worry about any other skills when you're healer. Do not use skill 3. That applies quite a big heal over time for quite a long period of time as well, so just ignore that. If you're the healer, just literally sit there hitting number 2 because you're going to be doing the max DPS pretty much every single hit. Your damage is like 2 million a second or 1.5 million a second. It's around those numbers, so it's really good to have healer in there, and that's why it is added in. Some people may be thinking, Goon, why have you put Stonecrusher in? It has a heal over time on skill 4. Well, that's because you're not pressing skill 4 if you're the Stonecrusher, so make sure you do not touch that whatsoever. Just use 2, 3, and 5. The reason we added it in is just for one pure purpose, and that is mana regen. We're running into various issues because, of course, mana vamp wasn't equipped, etc., where certain classes just had no mana to use, and that's no help to anyone. So if you pop Stonecrusher in, you will overcome that issue. This particular comp is one I just felt the majority of players would be able to run. It's a pretty free player composition, and like I say, there's not too many wacky things really going on with it that's going to cause you major issues. So hopefully the vast majority of people should be able to run this. Of course, we have got Chrono Shadowslayer or Chrono Shadow Hunter, whichever variant you may potentially have available to you. But like I say, that isn't essential to this. I've done it many times without it. It's in there for the pure silly amount of DPS it can deal, but like I say, you could just swap it out to another healer. The key thing really is not to overthink this, and maybe just chop and change a couple of classes how you see fit. It's just that heal mechanic that you need to worry about, and that's where you're going to be having the majority of your issues, if at all you are struggling. So just keep your eyes peeled on that, and as long as you have people that know what they're doing with the heals, you'll be absolutely fine. I've already seen and heard the rumours of Azalith being soloed and also duoed. Worth noting, because people seem to think it all the time, you do not need to taunt this boss. There is no point in taunting, because I'm pretty sure everything indoors focus anyway, so that skill will be totally useless. So save your scrolls, don't use them, just stick damage boosters on. We did with this run manage to break into the 2 minutes, and that was actually quite good. It felt like a good quick run. Based on a couple of bits of testing we also did, and when we were just playing around, it definitely feels like 2.5 minutes, and probably even sub that is more than possible with this boss. You just need the right combination going at it. But the point is here, this one's nice and rounded, and it should do absolutely fine. Anyway, folks, First of all, shout out to everyone you can see on screen and who has featured in this video, and for just sticking with it for trial and error. We've got this far now, so we may as well see the last little bit of health disappearing off Azalith. And of course, once you've done that, you can just rinse and repeat this. I believe you have to defeat Azalith quite a few times if you're after Bloodcaster or any of the mergeables with it. So good luck if you are going along and doing this. As always though, folks, thank you very much for watching. Please do leave the video a like, and of course subscribe. Down goes Azalith, so it's about time to disappear. And of course, just before I do, we'll flick up the glasses on screen that were being used, just for confirmation that I wasn't lying to you at the start of the video. But anyway, until next time, have a lovely day, and I'll see you again for another one incredibly soon.